They came back through the curtain. He walked up to me. I went, "You know what you did wrong?" He said, "Yep," and just kept walking. And it did. That night, it changed forever.
And one thing WWE got out of it, which is pretty cool, you know, the rise of, I always thought, in my opinion, that John Cena had the hardest role in probably the history of wrestling. You know, you went from an attitude era where you could flip off your balls, drink beer, wreck vehicles, to a G-rated era, which is almost impossible to do. You know, I think that's a lot of the problems that Michael Cole had.
Coming off of what we were
coming off Warrior, this hot show that we're coming off of where you're allowed to do anything. You got boobs flashing, you got all kinds, you got craziness. All of a sudden, Cena's now this G champion. But the agent of John Cena, for those that don't know, put together all of his matches with AA Mr. Arn Anderson.
Yeah, when they brought him to TV and they had that first rapper thing that kind of went south, you know, and he finally got his character turned around a little bit. Vince called me in his office. He called John in his office. He went, "We're going to start over with John. Arn, he's yours. Teach him how to work." Sound like a pressure position to anybody? Oh, shit. And having to convince John that it's a G product and you can't do some of the stuff that we just went through that era because he didn't understand. He was a young guy in the business, you know. And never forget it. I was having just a little bit of conflict talking with him, nothing heated or anything, but he didn't understand what I was trying to teach him, the simple things. So he's working with Kurt Angle. They do a little something. John drops Kurt. There's a guy out in the audience with one of those big foam fingers deals. John rolls out. Now he's got Kurt Angle down, hurt. He rolls out of the ring, goes over the rail, goes out in the crowd, takes the foam finger and folds it into one of these to Kurt. I went, "Oh, Jesus." Well, by the time...
Arn, why do you let him do that?
By the time he handed the phone back, went back over the rail and slid in, there was a pissed off Kurt Angle waiting on him.
Oh, wow.
He beat the absolute piss out of John. They came back through the curtain. He walked up to me. I went, "You know what you did wrong?" He said, "Yep," and just kept walking. Kurt came back. Thank God Kurt was tough enough. He did, you know, it was just a momentary, him just protecting himself. That kid got really bad. And from that point on, John trusted me. I said, you can't leave an Olympic gold medalist in the ring while you're flipping him out with Arthur from the hot dog stand down the street. It's not going to fly.
One of the best backstage fights ever, and I didn't see it, was Kurt Angle and Eddie Guerrero. And I'm dressing by Eddie Guerrero back in the dressing room, and I could hear the fight coming down the hall, and you know it's a fight. You know, you know what's going. You know there's a fight happening. So I figured out by all of the what's yelling back and forth that Eddie had tried to leg dive Kurt in the gorilla position when he came back. So now they get to the door, and Laurinaitis shuts the door and separates Eddie from Kurt, who's outside the dressing room. Now Eddie comes and sits right by me, right here, and Eddie's just looking at the door, and he's. I'm sitting here looking at him, and finally I said, "Eddie, why would you leg dive a gold medalist?"
Oh,
and Eddie goes, "'Cause I'm stupid." Okay, all right. Now we're good.
That's it. That's vintage Eddie Guerrero.
Yes, yeah.
He was over it and already realized he fucked up, right?
That's right.
Use
Yeah.
my language.
Yeah.
That he made a mistake.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.